X, TikTok, and YouTube. The triple threat.
The triple banger. The triple dog dare you. I got to start going on live on X and TikTok too. Get the Zoomers on TikTok. They'll be losing their minds. All right, let me transition, and then I'll let you do our intro. Oh, but I'm live. I'm ready.
Boom. All right, welcome in. Welcome in, everyone. Gentlemen's Code, episode 15.
You think you're fucking dealing with?
We're fucking dealing out here.
Dealing.
Welcome in. Today's November 20th. We're moving along with the year, almost the end of 2024. We're getting closer and closer every Gentleman's Code episode. But welcome in, everyone. We're just going to talk through a couple of topics today that we want to discuss. But before we do that, I just want to plug in the Taylor's Code. If you guys aren't in there, go check out our network of ultimate professionals that we're building, a lot of young talent. And there are a lot of skills you could learn, a lot of different things in there from communication wise. You could build a network, reach out to people, DMs, take all the courses, read about crypto, read about e-commerce, all this different stuff that we do. If you need a sales job, if you need anything like that, all these opportunities are in there. So if you guys are looking for ways to make more income on the side of your job, or you're just in high school, just graduated high school, looking to get into some online skills, go check out our course, The Taylor's Code.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Bang.
Brianna, welcome in.
What's up, player? So we got an action packed episode today because we put together a couple of notes for you guys because the different live streams that we do throughout the week are going to be geared towards different things. And the gentleman's code's obviously geared towards being a gentleman, talking about what it's like being a man in the modern world, how to be the best version of yourself, which obviously includes making money, developing yourself, putting yourself in a position to actually provide for the family around you. That's what the Taylor's Code's for. But when me and Bobby were going through the notes last night, something I wanted to touch upon this week was just being a gentleman to women overall, okay? The reason I was thinking about this is because something that I've noticed, especially in the last couple of years of my life as I've really improved myself as an individual, is I always hear girls say, "Oh, wow, you're such a gentleman. Oh, wow, like, there aren't guys like you anymore." And I'm not just saying that like, "Oh, you're talking." There's not guys like, there's not. But I always hear the compliment like, "Oh my God, like you're such a gentleman. You're really different. Oh my God, that's so sweet. I can't believe you actually thought about doing that for me." And I think that's so important because nobody teaches young men how to actually be gentlemen anymore. That's the whole reason that I say all the time to whenever I'm talking to Bobby or guys inside of the Taylor's Code, I always say, "Gentlemen, gentlemen, what's going on, gentlemen? How we doing, gentlemen?" And I do that on purpose because the words that you say matter. Whatever you say comes into existence. It becomes a reality. So I always say gentlemen. I don't say boys. What's up, guys? Da, da. No, I always say gentlemen because that's the type of environment. That's the type of reality I want to live in. Is that myself and the people around me are gentlemen. And there's things that you got to do to actually make yourself a gentleman. So one thing I was thinking about is, you know, when I talk to girls, one of the things that I always get complimented on is the way that I speak to them out the gate. Okay. And I say that because young guys now, they don't understand how to speak. They're not competent. They use slang. They talk like idiots. They use all this.
TikTok terms.
Yeah. They're probably saying skibbity toilet and all this other bullshit. Like just not competent. They don't speak well. And women, they don't even realize it if they're not used to talking to somebody like you or me, Bobby, but they don't like that. Like I've been complimented so many times by a girl of, "Oh wow, you speak so well. I like the way that you speak. You speak confidently. You don't use slang terms. You don't slur your words. You just speak well. I like that." And that's a part of being a gentleman is to be competent. Like speak well. That's just one thing you can work on that people are gonna like is just can you speak well?
Yeah, 100%. And one thing that I've noticed about women in general and my girlfriend is they really they really listen to what you say. They take every word into account. You might say one word like you don't even mean, even if you are a great speaker, like you are Priamo and a lot of people are, but they take every word as a detail and they really they hold on to every single word. So when you are saying these random words of skippity doo or whatever TikTok term they're throwing out, they're gonna really think about that when they get back home and be like, okay, well, what what is this guy? And like you said, yeah, not everybody is a gentleman these days. You see that there's a lot of guys out here that maybe they have a little money, but they act out and they treat girls like shit, and then girls don't like that. And that's no way to live your life. That's not how you want to be no remembered by girls. And especially if you grew up with a mother who loved you and stuff, you learn to treat women with respect. And that's how I grew up. That's how you grew up. And that's the environment we want to create for our families moving forward. So there's a term of respect with the way you talk that goes a long way.
Yeah, that's a great point. The better that you speak to somebody, or the more seriously you take a conversation with somebody, the more respect you have for them. And that's a fantastic point. If I don't respect you and I don't care about what you think of me, I'm just going to talk however I want to talk to you. All right. Another thing, something that really interesting that uh, a girl I was talking to had taught me that I really liked. Anytime I would talk to her and I would swear, she would say, "No, no, no, like not with me, not with me. Don't talk
Hmm.
like that with me." It was the first girl that ever said that to me, and I actually like that a lot. And I'm gonna take that with me moving forward, because you want to keep that relationship with your girl or your wife sacred, right? That's the idea. Is you want to keep that sweet, you want to keep it precious, you want to keep it sacred, and that that little point to me was so interesting because it's true. It's like, I shouldn't talk to you that way, right? I shouldn't use f bombs and bitch and bullshit and all this stuff that I say to you or to the other gentlemen that we talk with. I shouldn't have that kind of conversation with you, and I really like that a lot because that's another level of becoming a gentleman. Is just not with me. Don't talk like that with me. It's like, yeah, I actually like that. And then I stopped and I didn't, and I really liked that. And I would actually catch myself when I would be talking to her about to curse. Yeah, I didn't say it, but I like that. So I'm curious to hear what you think about that.
Yeah, I mean that's a good way to put it because one way that I think about it is more in terms of like emotions. Like girls are very emotional, guys are not as emotional. So you could say to your buddy like, "Oh, you're just like, what are you doing? You idiot or
Yeah,
something." Your buddy's like, "Oh, whatever, I'm an idiot, whatever." But you say that to your girl, and sometimes you gotta learn this the hard way. I have. It's just like they don't like that. That's the no-no. That's the no-go zone. And that's something that you just have to learn as you date women and you have a woman that you live with or whatever. You learn different things about how they think and how they act, and especially you don't want to say those things. And that's a great that she said it right out the gate, like to you, like, hey, don't ever do that with me. Because some girls, they try to be like tomboyish and they want to be
right,
part of the crowd and they'll do that. But that makes, I think for you, maybe you liked her even more when she said that. And she was like, don't say that around me. And you're like, okay, I respect that. And
right.
anytime you could build respect in a relationship like that, you're going to like each other way more.
Exactly. Yeah, I really, it really took me back because it was the first time I ever had heard that, and like you said, I like that because for me, you want to keep that relationship with your girl precious. You want to keep it sacred. You don't want to do certain things with your girl that you would do with other people. That's the whole reason that they're your girl. It's a special relationship, and yeah, I love that because it wasn't even something I wasn't even cursing at her. It was just that's just how I
Mhm.
speak in general. So I would just curse normal. That's how I do. And she's just like, no, hey, not with me, not with me. Don't say that stuff with me. And the other thing with that too is she also would never swear either. Like she just wouldn't speak that way. And so that's also more attractive because it's whenever you're with a woman and she's cursing all the time and she's doing all these masculine things, you're thinking, what the fuck am I dating my boy? Like what the hell? Why you, what the fuck are you cursing for? Smoking cigarettes, all this goo, just masculine things that you don't want your girl to do, right? So I really enjoyed that. And so that would be a piece of advice to the gentleman whenever you go out with the girl, don't speak with her and don't act in the way that you would speak with the gentleman whenever you're in private with them. Okay? Again, it's a sacred relationship. You want to keep it different from them.
Mhm. One point that I had written down here that I was thinking about when we brought up this topic is, when you're first getting to know someone and you go out on a date, it might be, you're kind of scared, kind of awkward. You don't know this person. You gotta figure out who they are and what they like. And I think it's important to put them in the hot seat. So ask them questions. And people like talking about themselves. So
Yes.
no girl you meet is gonna not like talking about herself, what she likes to do, her friends, her family. You're right. So if you ever do go out on a first date or whatever, and you're a little scared, a little nervous, just start off with some questions to her. Let her answer the questions, let her talk. You listen. I know that's hard for a lot of guys, but you listen to what she's saying. And then it makes it so much easier because then you're putting the ball in her court. And if she really wants to get to know you, she'll ask you questions back. And by then they'll be easy. The
Mm-hmm.
easy questions. You'll sit there, listen to how she answered, and then you can answer and give her what you do on the day to day. So I think that's a super important one. And an easy way to break the ice is to just let her talk, ask her basic questions, and then you could go from there. You'll see where the conversation takes you.
Again, another great point, because it's like that's the number one rule of just networking in general. You want to smooth over somebody's ego, make them feel good about themselves. Yeah, ask them questions, let them talk about themselves. Everybody likes talking about themselves. Same thing with a girl. When you go on a first date, it also allows you to establish a degree of control, because if you're the ones asking the questions and getting responses, you're
Yep.
in control of the situation. And so it also puts them in a situation where they feel like they're trying to impress you, or at least say the right things, make sure that they're doing the right things, saying the right things. And as a man, it does give you the opportunity to ask good questions and get the answers that you want to hear. Because if I'm talking to a girl and I'm asking her questions, the next thing you know, I find out she doesn't want to have any kids. You
Hmm.
think I'm going to keep dating that girl? Hell no. I want to have like 20 kids. So that's probably not going to work.
Or her favorite thing to do is go to the club space or Club 11 in
Space.
Miami. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Oh, I just got back from space. I didn't even go to sleep yet, but we came right to brunch with you. I'd say, all right, get a water, and then I'm gonna get my food to go, and I'm gonna get out of here. So yeah, exactly. You want to find out if she's clubbing, going out all the time. Because, gentlemen, listen, this should go without saying, but the young men, they don't realize this. If you if you're talking to a girl and all she does is go out to the clubs, go out to restaurants all the time, traveling, like doing all this stuff all the time, that's not a girl you want to be around. Okay. Number one, because she's already done so many things. For you to be able to impress her and actually show her the world and do things with her that's going to make her respect you, it's going to be a lot more difficult, because she's already done a shit ton of things with other guys or other girls. And number two, she's going out and clubbing all the time. She obviously has more, she's more interested in herself and her own fun and her own lifestyle that she's living right now, as opposed to actually settling down with you, building a family, building a relationship, and building a future with you. You don't want to be with a girl that's going out all the time, or is in that college mindset of go party every single weekend, Friday, Saturday night, going to the clubs, boozing up. That's not, you don't want that, and you don't want a girl
mm.
that, yeah, that is, you don't want that. Okay, because shit's gonna happen at the club. Shit's gonna happen when they get drunk. Shit that you don't know about. It's not a good situation to be in. You don't want your girl doing that.
100%. I think most important is how does she take care of herself and her home? How does she treat her family? How does she treat her brother? Things like that. It's important to know. It's important to learn early when you're talking to someone.
Mm-hmm.
But another point I had regarding kind of, maybe once you get going in a relationship, it's important to build a relationship, and things might not always go the right way. You might get in a fight here, a fight there, but how you respond to that. So a lot of people will get in a big fight and then they're like, "Oh, I'm leaving," and then go for a couple days and they're gone. You got to build a relationship is going to be hard. It's not going to be easy, and then you're going to have fights. And how do you overcome them? And how do you learn from them? It's moving forward to get to where you want to be. If that's getting married, having kids, and doing all that. How do you respond when you get in a fight? Do you learn from it, or do you just kind of ignore it and then never learn, and then you're going to fight more and more and more? So I see a lot of people that are a continuous cycle of fighting and not learning from what happened in the past to build a relationship.
Mm-hmm. And so another thing that you want to do early on as well, right? Is girls nowadays, and listen, the reality is most girls don't deserve this anyways. But on the contrary, it's men's fault, because most men aren't men anymore, and most men aren't competent. They're not fit. They're not intelligent. They're not making money. They're just lazy sacks of shit. And so obviously, girls aren't going to give them the best version of themselves as well. But when you're a real gentleman, you're going out with that rare, okay, quality girl that's worthwhile having a relationship with. Early on, one of the easiest and simplest things you can do, and we talked about this in the past too, is small gestures of affection, right? Sending some flowers, right? When you're talking to a girl for a couple of weeks, a month, and you're really liking her and it's going well, just send her some flowers real quick. It doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be a ton of money, right? If you're just working on your business right now, you're just working on your career and you don't got a shit ton of money to spend, 20, 30, $40 for a bouquet of flowers, that shit will go so far for you, because it's going to show her that you're serious and actually interested in her, and you're thinking about her outside of the time that you're actually with her. And women, those simple gestures go so far with them, because with a real good girl, she does just want to be loved, okay? Now, as the relationship gets more serious, obviously you have to become more confident, be able to provide, be able to do these things that are going to continue to make her fall in love with you. But at the beginning, she just wants to know that you care. And so just sending flowers, like guys don't even do that anymore.
Mhm.
They don't. No flowers. Never.
And like they're cheap too. I just bought some yesterday actually, and I got them for like $16 at Publix, a big bouquet. Phew, beautiful. It's
Banger.
like 16 bucks. That's how much McDonald's cost.
Yeah, exactly. Instead of your fat ass going to McDonald's and getting a Big Mac and fries, go get your
Make your
girl.
girl happy.
Yeah, go get your yeah. Get your girl a fucking bouquet of flowers, and then she'll make you dinner, as opposed to you go and buy a fucking McDonald's. It's fucking bums. But yeah, again, another fantastic thing. Another thing that I noticed that men don't do anymore, and this is something. Again, these are things that we learned throughout our lives as well through dating. When you're a guy and you have a car and you go to pick a girl up, when you go pick up a girl up for the first date, get out of the car, open the door for her, compliment her how she looks, let her get into the car, close the door for her. Whenever you get to the restaurant, tell her, and because I've had girls do this before too, look over, tell her, hey, don't worry about it. I got it. Get out of the car, close your door, come around, open the door for her, let her get out. When she's dressed up, she got her dress on for your first date. Boom, boom, boom. Just little things like that. Show her that you're a gentleman. You have, chivalry isn't dead. Do things for her that are going to be gentlemanly, right? Because girls notice these things. Now, some girls, they don't even expect them anymore because they've never been with a man that ever had done anything like that for them.
Hmm.
So they don't even
That's
expect
true.
it. So whenever you do it, oh my,
It's so many brownie points you don't even understand.
Bobby, my goodness. I've had girls on first dates with me that by the end of the first date, they're ready to get married, have 10 kids. Because they're just so mind blown by the moves that I have, by the boom, boom, boom. And these are little things. But again, they notice these things because no other guy does them. And what you want to do as a man, as a gentleman, is separate yourself from the crowd. What are you doing different than every other guy that's hitting her up right now? Every other guy's in her DMs, on Instagram, on Snapchat, hitting her up, da 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 da. What are you going to do differently? What's different about you?
Yeah, and I think that's a super important point is where are you going to find these women? Like it's not gonna like we talked about, the clubs and in that scene, but it's gonna be you don't want to be on Snapchat and whatever it is. Go out to places you like to go, the coffee shop, the library, wherever you work, go shopping, at nice places and just converse with people, talk like, hey, how are you? Nice to meet you. It's networking.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, everything is networking. How many people do you know? And then you might meet a friend, and friends introduce you to other friends, and then you meet that way, organically meeting. And then once you do meet organically, and then you're on the radar, you go out, and then she sees gentleman, opening the door, nice restaurants. He takes care of me, speaks well, talks to me how I want to be spoken to.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're already ahead of 99.9% of the other people out there that are just drunk at the bar, sending late night text or whatever, come over and all that stuff. You're way ahead because you met organically, you're nice, you spoke well, asked her out politely and all this stuff. It's easy. You set yourself up for success from the beginning.
Yes. And so that's the other thing too. What you said about meeting people organically, I believe the same thing. It's so much more important to meet a girl out organically because that's how you really get that chemistry or know whether or not
Hmm.
that first moment when you see each other, you're like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
you know, and that's why I don't use dating apps. That's why I don't. For me, that's a shortcut, cheap way to try to find a relationship, right? Just getting on Tinder, getting on Hinge, and just swiping and swiping and swiping and swiping and swiping and swiping and trying. Listen, the type of girl that you're looking for, chances are they're probably maybe you find her on Hinge, but more
No.
than likely she's not on Hinge, bro. She's not on Tinder. If she's really a really good girl like that, you're gonna meet her organically out in public through friends. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's exactly how you met Arena, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. We met through friends and we went out and that's how we met organically.
exactly. And that's for me the same thing. The best relationships I've ever had are the most attractive I've ever been to girls are the girls that I just see out in public and I see them, I'm like, oh my goodness, she's beautiful, fantastic. I gotta go
Hmm.
talk to her. I
Yeah.
gotta go say something. And then all of a sudden, next thing you know, it works out because you have that real organic chemistry in person, like a real human being. So much of our lives that's been removed. So much of the human interaction have been removed. Everybody wants a shortcut, cheap way, hide behind the phone, hide behind the screen because it's easier to get rejected on your phone. It's a lot more
Yeah.
difficult to go up and talk to a girl.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like the younger generation, they don't have that going out and meeting people ideas. Like they want to go out, like you said, on the phone. They're swiping on dating apps or they're on Instagram, and they're just getting rejected behind the phone, which is a lot easier for their ego because a lot of people don't want to go up to people and speak. Even like, if you're taking like dating out of the equation, even going up to people and just introducing yourself is like a thing of the past now. So a lot of these young kids that are graduating high school and college, you think they're going to go introduce themselves to a girl that's pretty in the street? No, they're scared. They're not going to do that. So how are they ever going to meet a girl that they ever want to settle down with? It's tougher for them unless they really, put their chest out, have some confidence, make some money, and do these things. It's gonna be a long road for them.
And so again, that's another comment that I hear from girls. I hear from women. They'll say to me, "Oh, I was just happy that you came up to me first, or you made the initiative. Like I like that." When that was just the norm in the past, it's gotten to the point now where women literally are attracted by the simple fact that you were willing to come up to them and talk to them. Because that's confidence, number one. But number two, because literally nobody does that anymore. Guys are so afraid to talk to girls now that these girls are thinking to themselves, when the hell is somebody going to hit on me? When the hell is somebody going to talk to me? Or at least the one that they do want to talk to, right? And so, and I get it. These young guys are so petrified to be able to talk to these girls. It's like, buddy, what is she going to do? Put you in a fucking headlock and choke you out? Like, what the fuck are you so afraid of?
I saw something actually about that. It was like our grandfather's generation. It was like our grandfathers probably had to go up to hundreds of different women to get rejected 100 times for one to say yes and talk to them because that was just the normal back then. Like you couldn't just send a text message and be like, hey, like let's talk. It was like, no, you actually had to go up to their face and like try to start a conversation.
Right.
And that's just a thing of the past now. Like you can't like people going up to people and conversing is a thing of the past.
Right.
But
And
I think as more people bring that back and start doing that more and more, you get that confidence and you're not afraid to go up to someone and just have a normal conversation, introduce yourself, ask about them, all these things we talked about.
exactly. The fear of rejection comes from the unknown, okay? The reason that men are so petrified to do it is because they just simply don't have to do it. If you literally had to talk to a girl to get laid, guess what? You would do it. And that's exactly what guys used to do because they had to.
Mhm.
They didn't have the option of Tinder. They didn't have the option of Hinge. They didn't have the option to text or call somebody. No. If you want to get some ass, if you want to have a girlfriend, you had to go talk to them. So you
Mhm.
you had to get over that fear. Nowadays, because you can avoid it, they do avoid it because it's an option, right? And so what you understand is, especially for example, somebody like me who's in sales or started in sales as my first business, the only people who are afraid to sell are the people who haven't done it enough times and been rejected enough times to understand what happens whenever you see all these different types of situations. The more times you do something, the more time you repeat the same thing and you learn what the different outcomes are, and then you understand what's going to happen every single time. That whole fear of rejection goes away. It's the same thing with girls. You just literally never do it, so you're so afraid of it. But if you just continue to do it, and this is logical, everybody knows this is true, the more that you do it, and the more times you get rejected, and the more times you know exactly what's going to happen and how to maneuver, the fear goes away. It wasn't the fact that you didn't want to talk to the girl. It's just you're afraid of the rejection and the unknown. You do it 100 times, you don't care anymore. It's like, okay.
Yeah, it's good to relate it to sales. Like you said, a lot of people are scared to get on the phone and start dialing because they're like, oh, well, they're going to reject me, this and that. But like you said, once you're rejected enough times and you understand, like, what are my rebuttals when they say, no, I'm not interested in this product, right? It's like, okay, well, here's a rebuttal for that. And then here's a rebuttal for that. And then you start to develop a repertoire of how you're going to speak once rejected to. And the same goes, with women. Once they were saying, no, I'm not interested. Oh, it's okay. It's fine. I'm just, getting to know you, but whatever you're going to say, right? So there's a lot of different routes you could go once you just start doing it and building a repertoire.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a great point.
Yeah, absolutely. It's fear of the unknown. So go do it. And guy, I mean, here's the thing too. You gain so much confidence too whenever you do things that you are afraid of. Because listen, it's okay if you're nervous or you're afraid to do it at the beginning. That's fine. And that's actually where real bravery comes from, because if you're genuinely afraid or genuinely unwilling to do something, but you still do it anyways, that's true bravery. It's not
Hmm.
brave to do something that you weren't afraid to do in the first place, right? Even if it was difficult. If you weren't afraid, you're not being brave. You just weren't afraid. So for you to then have the confidence to do something that you are petrified of, that you are unwilling and uneasy about, when you do it, even if you get rejected, that sigh of relief that you're going to get, it's like, oh, but I did it though. It's going to build some confidence in you because you did it. You survived it. Nothing happened. She didn't fucking punch you in the face. She didn't choke you out, buddy. Like, you'll be fine. It's okay. So then you start to build up that confidence. And then that confidence goes into every other aspect of your life. But this is why young men are so unconfident, is because they're so unwilling to do the things that they don't want to do, because they just avoid all difficulties in life. And then we always come back around to this. You wonder why people develop depression, anxiety, why these guys have no fucking, these guys are pretty much suppressing their own testosterone. They got no more facial hair. These young kids, they're all fat, chubby, and shit. It's like, nothing about you is manly. No wonder you fucking life sucks. So, but yeah, just that in and of itself, going up to and approaching a girl that you think is attractive nowadays is like, these girls are like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Thank you for coming up to me. Even if they don't like you. Hey, they reject you. Boom, boom, boom. No big deal. At least you tried.
Yeah. I think that's a great spot to leave it. My final point would be, just grow a set and just do it. You just go up to them, talk. Like you said, they're not going to put you in a headlock. So
Right.
continue to just build confidence. That's how you got to do it.
And be a gentleman about it. Speak to them politely, compliment them, tell them they look fantastic, ask them what their name is. If they ask for your name back, boom, you're in business. If they don't ask for your name back or they kind of give you the cold shoulder, all right, hey, good to see you. Have a good night. It's all
Yep.
easy. All right, cool. So I know you got a couple of points too. Which one did you want to go to next?
Yeah, I was just importance of goal setting. I was one that I had on the top of my list yesterday. And I think where we are in the current state of the world, we're coming up on a very pivotal or very opportunistic time to get involved in all different realms of business and crypto and DeFi and all this stuff, right? All this technology that's booming right now and new administrations coming in with deregulations, right? So how could you set yourself up for success? And I think the first thing you have to do, right? You might not have, a lot of people might not have a business. They might not have an idea of what they want to do, but it's writing down your goals. And once you write down your goals, and not just any goals, write down some achievable goals, write down some like a SWOT analysis, right? Right, your
Uh huh.
strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, your all this stuff, right? Write it down and figure out what you could do to make money for yourself. Maybe your goal isn't to make money. Maybe your goal is to be in a certain position in life. Well, how are you going to get there? Like, what is the most important thing on day one that you need to do to get to that position? So I like to, you have to think about it. You have to sit retrospectively about like what you've done over the past 3 months to get there, right? Like, okay, what didn't work? What has worked? And what can I do going forward to make sure I accomplish those goals? So setting achievable goals in the beginning. So say your goal is in cryptocurrency, right? You want to make $1 million in crypto. That's your goal. Okay, well, your first goal shouldn't be I want to make $1 million in crypto because that's not realistic for starting out. You have it. How do I make one successful trade? That should be your first goal. Make one successful trade. Don't get rugged, right? Whatever your goal is, make one successful trade. Make $100 a trade. Make $200 a trade. And that's how you build yourself up. So I think achievable goals is super important. A lot of people set the bar way too high to begin with, and then they don't know like, oh, how am I going to get there? $1 million, that's a lot. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
well, you got to peel it back. It's like an onion. Peel it back. How do you get there? It's not the onion just doesn't grow and become an onion. There's layers and there's different things that come with it. So peeling back your goals and setting achievable goals moving forward is super important.
Huge. Okay, and huge. So I'm going to teach you guys because I taught this to my sales teams for years. Is with goals as well. That's such a great point. Yeah, you first of all they need to be achievable. Don't just say, "Oh, I want to make $100 million trading crypto," or like you said, $1 million. Okay, cool.
So
When
does everybody else.
yeah, that's everybody's goal, but you've never made $10,000 in your life, and now all of a sudden you want to make a million trading crypto. It's like obviously it's not an achievable goal right off the bat for you. So two things. Number one, how do you actually set goals? Let me teach you how to actually set goals. So when you're trying to set yourself up for success, a goal is a something that you're able to quantify coupled with a deadline. Okay? So a bad goal would be I want to make or I want to get rich trading crypto. Well, what's rich? That's arbitrary. What's how do you quantify that? I want to get rich. Okay? What's rich? How much is rich? What how And then there's no time frame. When do you want to get rich by? When do you want to make that many dollars? So every goal has to have something that's quantifiable, something that you can actually say, okay, when I hit this number, boom, accomplished, with a deadline attached to it. Because without a deadline, then there's no urgency or no movement towards that goal. So, like you said, say your first successful trade. Okay, well, my first successful trade, what am I going to quantify it? I'm going to say I make $100 off of that trade. Okay, there's your quantity. And then what's the deadline for it? I'm going to do it in a week. So for the next 7 days, I'm going to trade, and then I'm going to have a goal of making $100 on one trade in this next week. Great. That's a real goal. I can quantify it, so I can say, oh, check it off, and I have a 1 week to accomplish it. So I got to do this in the next week. Great. So that's how you actually set a goal. And then, like you said, the importance of actually being able to achieve your goals at the beginning is so important, because once your word becomes iron will, whatever you say becomes reality. That gives you so much power. But until you can start to develop that habit, it doesn't work. So you start with goals that are achievable, things that you know that you can accomplish, to start to train your mind and train your mentality to be, oh, if I say it, I do it. Oh, if I say it, I do it. If I say I'm going to do 500 push-ups today, I'm doing 500 push-ups no matter what. No matter what. And I've done this in the past. I heard Andrew Tate talk about this. And I was at the crib in Arizona. I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to do 1,000 push-ups today. And I literally did 1,000 push-ups for the next 5-6 hours. I stayed up to like 3, 4 in the morning doing push-ups. So, because I say it, right? Go ahead.
I was just going to say something that you said in the past, and it was waking up. Like you say, you wake up in the morning. Your goal should be super achievable from the get-go. If you set a goal, it's like make my bed, make do this in the morning. As soon as you wake up and you start getting a couple wins in the morning, and you said this, stack those wins in the morning, go to the gym, do push-ups, do bench press, right? If you set those goals early in the morning and you do them, and it's like, okay, I'm on a roll. Like I already did 3 out of my 5 goals today. Now the harder, maybe the trading goal is at the end of the day, but you're like, I already did 4 out of 5 goals. Let's just get that last one. That's the most important to me. So I think stacking those wins early in the morning, that just gives you the confidence to keep going.
Absolutely. And I believe that these things that I say on those university meetings is literally shit that I do, and it works. That's what I'm saying.
Mhm.
That's why I say it. Like stacking your wins, getting W's is so important. So now let's say you do this for a year straight, where you're actually hitting these goals and you're fucking accomplishing them. You continue to do the things that you say that you're going to do and take your words seriously. Your words iron will. Me and Bobby started doing this live stream at 8 a.m. Eastern for the last 15 weeks in a row. How many times have we missed? 15 weeks in a row, every single time, on time. You just do it, okay? So you don't fuck up. This is another way to help with goals, right? That's why I was pulling out my notebook. So I have, because you gotta write these things down as well, because you gotta have them in front of you, okay? So here's this goal, right? You will be a billionaire by 40 years old. Now I know that's a huge goal, but it's a long-term one. And then 812 super fast by the end of 2024. Right? Why do I have it? Because I'm going to put it down on paper. I'm going to put it out into reality. I'm going to speak it into existence. Same thing
So,
here. Yeah, go
so
ahead.
that's a question I have for you. A lot of this is something that I've struggled with in the past. Is I would write down a goal in my notebook. This is a freshy fresh notebook, so nothing in here. I got a couple beginning pages filled out, but once you write down a goal, for me, it was always hard to go back in the notebook and read what I wrote. So what is your advice for people that maybe they write down a goal, it's maybe a longer term goal, 6 months or a yearly goal or something like that, but then it's just not fresh in their mind. Is it a sticky note on the screen, something like that?
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. Yeah. So you got to always just have it in front of you. So I always keep this at my desk. And then whenever I was in Arizona, I just had on my glass desk literally right next to my laptop. So I would see this every single fucking day. Because here's the thing, right? First of all, you got to when you start getting good at goal setting, you do have to start setting loftier goals to
Mhm.
force yourself to stretch. Otherwise, you do get complacent. But that's after you've been, somebody who's brand new to just fucking changing their life in general. Like, yeah, you got to start with small goals. That's why I do big goals like this, because it forces me to stretch. Because listen, I'll be completely honest with the people watching. I'm at the point now where I don't have to continue to push myself, if that makes sense. Like I have enough money at this point where it's like I'm cool. I'm young enough and have enough money where it's just I could be complacent for sure. So how do you get yourself to continue to go for that next level whenever money is no longer the when when you no longer need money to be able to pay your bills and pay for food, right? Now the only other goals are, well, just getting a supercar or getting a bigger house, that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? So you
Yeah.
have to continue to make yourself stretch. So I would say, yeah, so keep the sticky note right in front of you. And then this is the other thing that I started doing now too. So I literally just write down my goal multiple times over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. So it says, I will buy a Huracan Eva by the end of 2024 guaranteed. I will buy a Huracan Eva by the end of 2024 guaranteed. And I just do that for literally entire pages on my notebook for like 10 minutes. And I have 30 pages like that. Just, I will buy a Huracan Eva by the end of 2020. And the reason I do that, it's like, this is real shit, guys. This shit works. The reason I do that is because, like you said, now it's not only I'm writing it down one time, but when I force myself to write it down 100, 200, 300 times, I'm ingraining it into my brain that this is going to happen. I'm going to buy a Huracan Evo. I'm going to buy a Huracan Evo. So at first it was an 812 Superfast. Now I'm on the Huracan. But now the goal is I'm going to buy a car by the end of this year, and you guys are going to see it. So I just right now the bull run, want to wait to see what happens on this next leg up, and then I'm gonna go buy the whip. But I write it down. I just write it down 100 times because it just puts it into your brain that this is gonna happen. So that's another thing that I do now too. Just fucking write it down 1,000 times until it happens.
Yeah, I like that. And I definitely recommend writing it down, your goals. And that's something I do. That's why I got a new notebook, ran through the last one. But like I said, I think it's important to have something in front of you because for me personally, like when I write down goals like that, it's in my notebook. And if I'm not looking at it, it might slip away for a day or two, and then you get off of your the path you were on to complete that goal. So I like that of having it right in front of me at all times, and that's something that I'll implement and be better at. But I think in terms of goals and everything you want to do, you really have to figure out what it is you're looking for because everybody wants money, right? Everybody wants, more money in their pocket. They want to make more money financially. But what is it in terms of freedom? What does your day-to-day look like? Like when you wake up in the morning, what do you want to do? Do you want to go to the gym for an hour and then you want to go do a physical activity like basketball or golf? Or what is it that's going to make you happy and make you perform at your highest level? And I
Right.
think that a lot of people, they don't know what that is. They don't know what they want their days to look like and it comes down to what kind of person you want to be in 10 years. What is 37-year-old Bob be doing? And I think, it starts now. You have to start doing the things now that you want to be doing in 10 years as a rich millionaire, waking up and doing whatever it is you do. And honestly, my days aren't going to look that different. And that's the part that a lot of people need to start doing is doing what you see successful you doing. Because we always say this, the battle is me versus me. And if me in 10 years is doing all these things, okay, well, I got to start doing those things now and competing with myself, my future self. And that's what it all really comes down to is being the best version of yourself, setting goals that you can accomplish, that you will do and will make you a better person. So that's what I think the overarching theme of goal setting is and being the best version of yourself.
Right. And it sounds cliche to say that the best version of yourself, me versus me, but it is true because people fall into the trap of looking at other people's success and saying they allow other people's success to steal the wind out of their sails, to make them jealous or envious or, oh, well, you should only ever look at other people's success to draw inspiration from them in a way that you say, oh, wow, he could do it. And not in necessarily an arrogant way, but say, oh, he could do it. I could do it too. Like, oh, if he was able to do it, then I could do it too. I just got to figure out what did he do that made him get to that point. That's the only reason you should ever look at anybody else's success is to draw inspiration from it. Once you've drawn the inspiration, then you go back to doing what you do because people get into this mindset of trying to chase all these different rabbits and trying to do what this guy does and trying to do what that guy does, etc. You do
Yeah.
what you do. Okay? What do you do? Okay? If you're going to go down the crypto route, then go down the crypto route and be the best motherfucker in crypto and just make your money. If you're going to go down the sales route, great. Is somebody making a shit ton of money in e-commerce? That's cool. That's great. But if I'm going down the sales route, I'm going to be the best motherfucking salesman in the world because you're going to draw value and make money from becoming the best at what it is that you do. And there is money in whatever it is that you do. So if you decide to go down the e-com route and you do e-commerce stores like Bobby, then you make your money in ecom. If you decide to do sales like I do, then you make your money in sales. And then when you network and you are successful and competent at what you do, then you network and you make friends with people who are fantastic in their respective industries, and then you just use them as your support in that area, or use them to help you make money in that area, and vice versa. So you got to focus on what do you do. Just because somebody else is making a shit ton of money right now doing something else doesn't mean that you got to go do what they're doing. They've probably been doing it for longer than you. They probably have different circumstances, etc. It doesn't mean what you're doing isn't going to make you money eventually. You just got to keep going at it.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the major downfalls of what has social media has brought to the world over the past 10 years is that people only see the glitz and the glam and the best of the best. But when reality, that guy who posted his new Lamborghini on Instagram, right, he probably had to work a lot for it. And he didn't show that part. And he didn't show the 12-hour days grinding. Maybe it didn't work out for a month or two and he struggled and he didn't pay his rent for a month and he was really upset. He didn't put that stuff on Instagram, right? He only showed you the reward of what he got from his hard work. So a lot of people will get online and be like, oh, well, I don't have money to buy a Lamborghini. I guess I'm not cool like this guy. Okay, well, like you said, what can you do to make yourself better on the day to day? That's the most important part because this guy, you can't control what this guy does. He can't control what you do. So you have to, it's only you. It's up to you. And you could have great partners and you guys could work together. Like me and Priyamo, we talk about ideas all the time, but Priyamo can't come over here and make crypto trades on my computer. It's just not how it works. So you have to take information given to you, or like you said, Priyamo, learn from other people. What are they doing and implement it yourself? That's the most important part is you actually have to take action. You actually have to build your life.
Exactly. Nobody. It's you. And we talk about the goal setting too. And I started to get fired up, and now I'm like fucking worked up because I'm fired up now. When that, like for example, writing down this fucking just insanity for pages and pages and pages and pages and pages of the same goal. Like the reason I do that is because at some point you got to have some fucking tenacity to want to accomplish your goals. That's the other thing too. You could write down your goals, you could keep it right in front of you, you could talk about all these great things that me and Bobby are telling you to do, but if you don't actually have the fucking tenacity to go and do it, it's never going to happen for you. Like Bobby said, nobody's coming over there and is going to go do the work for you. I could teach you, I could show you, I could give you insight. The same thing with crypto. I didn't know anything about crypto. I saw somebody make $1 million in crypto. All right, I'm interested in crypto now. Let me go figure this shit out. Let me learn from people. Let me do trades. Let me investigate. Let me do research. Let me do all these things. All of a sudden, now I can make a shit ton of money in crypto. That's how it works. But nobody did that for me. Nobody's doing that for Bobby. Nobody's coming over here and waking me up in the morning and telling me to go work 16 hours a day like me and Bobby are. Me and Bobby work all day, every single day. Every day. So is that glamorous? Is that sexy? No. But you know what part will be? Whenever I go buy the Lambo. That part, you're going to see that. But you didn't see the hours that me and Bobby are putting in right now. People put an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours a day into their business, into their work, and they think all of a sudden they should be fucking multimillionaires. No, there's savages like me and Bobby out here who will do this for fun. I like this shit. I enjoy this shit. We do this.
It is fun.
Yeah. It's like we're on this live stream. We're building our business. We're working, but we love this shit. Like that's the difference. The last point I'll make before I pass it back to you is it's so funny how the people who want to get rich and make money so that they don't have to work are always the people who never get rich. Because if your mindset and your mentality is I'm only doing this so that I don't have to work, you're never going to work that hard. But it's the gentlemen, it's the people who go to fucking war every single day because that's what they love. They like the stress. They like that anxiety. They like that pressure of having to fucking perform. Those guys who are going to work regardless no matter what, those are the ones who get rich because they're not doing it because they don't want to work. They're doing it because they're trying to prove a point. They're doing it because they're trying to change their family's fucking life. They're doing it because even if they had $20 million in the bank, they're still going to show up and go to fucking war every single day. Those are the savages that make it.
100%. So I had two other points. One is just kind of a funny thing I saw on the internet this morning when I was waking up, and is it what?
Is it the fucking kid who rug pulled?
Did you see what happened after he did it though?
No, what happened?
They sent the coin to like 20 million after he rugged it. He would have made like $10 million, but he rugged it at like 50,000. And then the whole community was like, fuck this kid. And they sent it to literally like 20 million overnight.
Damn. That's funny as shit.
Just to spite him.
So what Bobby's talking about is literally a kid. The dude looked like he was fucking 12 years old.
He probably was 12, yeah.
He launched a meme coin and he rugged it for like what 20, 30 bands. Kid's losing his mind, losing his shit. He's on a live stream too. And then, bro, the best part is this is how degenerate this next generation is. They're so funny. He rug pulls him. He starts losing his mind. This kid's like 12. He flips the bird on the screen. He's like, "Fuck you guys." And then
And
yeah,
then he
like,
ended the stream.
yeah, crypto is an insane place. It's an insane world. People are, I mean, yeah. That's the thing is how are you not going to take part in that? There's kids who are making 20,
Making
30
30
bands.
bands.
It's like, come on now. This shit's the ultimate game changer.
Yeah, but then the best part was the whales and the people who saw him do that, just in spite of him, bought the coin and would have ripped it up millions of dollars. The kid would have made millions of dollars, a 12-year-old. But I thought that was just hilarious.
So funny. Yeah, I saw the video. That shit was fucking hysterical. Hysterical. Yeah, no. Yeah, he'll learn. He'll learn his lesson though, because a kid like that, he's young, so he doesn't understand it. But yeah, you can't live your life that way. You can't live your life trying to scam people to make your money that way, because that doesn't make you special. That doesn't make you competent. I mean, again, we're here for the gentleman's code. The thing that makes you a gentleman or a competent man is that you did have to do difficult things to get that money. That's what's sexy to a female. Like, women want to know that you actually had to work for your money. There's nothing
Yeah.
cool about winning the lottery and now you're rich because you won the lottery. You're still a dork. You're still a loser. You just have money now.
Or creating the lottery and then scamming everyone out of their
Yeah.
money.
Yeah. Or yeah, exactly. That's a great point. That's exactly what it was. Fucking hilarious, dude.
So yeah, that's I think that's a great conversation we had today, especially around being a gentleman to women, understanding women. What do they want out of you? What do you want out of them emotionally,
Yep.
and that kind of stuff. Um, Goal setting, those are great goals is important to any entrepreneur who wants to be successful starting a business. Oh, one thing that I thought about, and this is just me brainstorming late night thoughts. I want, one day when we're all settled down or we got our millions of dollars, I think we should start a coffee shop. I think we're just like we drink so much coffee and we're so into it. I think a coffee shop is in the future.
You do not have to convince me to do a coffee shop. Oh, absolutely. I've talked about this with Logan too. We should have. I'm being. This is not just a bullshit. No, I'm serious. I would do that. A cigar shop slash coffee shop.
Mhm.
Cigar lounge slash coffee. You could even have it separated. So if you just want to get your coffee on one side and not have to worry about the cigar stuff, but to be able to have a coffee shop, get your espresso, because that's what I always do whenever I'm smoking cigars. I want my double shot espresso, have my cigar, and then a little charcuterie board, some meat, some salami, cheeses, da da da. Class. Oh, because then we'll be in there with our millions. We'll be sitting, smoking our cigars, drinking our coffee. Everybody be coming in. Shit, we might even lose money on the business. We won't give a fuck. Nah, we'll be profitable. We'll be making money. But I think that's a fantastic idea. I would absolutely do a coffee shop. I fucking love espresso.
Yeah, one thing that I thought about and that I've never seen before is you ever seen those the little milk cartons? They're only like this big, like this big. It's maybe like a shot of milk or something. I thought about it. I was like, people should do espresso shots in the store. Like, you get your however much it is, 2 ounces at most, maybe 2 ounce a shot of espresso, and you put it in these little shot containers. Like you see, they have like the wellness shots, like turmeric shots and
Yeah,
those
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
things. It should just be espresso. Like if people probably would take espresso shots on the go, right? You buy it at the convenience store for I don't know how much is a espresso shot. You buy espresso shots all the time, $4, $5.
No, two. If you do a double shot at like Starbucks, it's $2.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's fucking literally just water. Yeah.
Yeah, and coffee. So yeah, I mean, if the most expensive thing would probably be the glass bottle you get it in. I think that's a great. I've never seen that before. Like just espresso shots on the go.
Little glass espresso. I'm with that because
Isn't that a good idea?
yeah, if you want a little cold double shot espresso, boom, or whatever, however you want to do. You could even have it on a fucking heater and just have it hot. If you want.
Yeah.
No, I like that idea. Yeah, because that's what I'm saying is for me, the reason I love espresso and the reason I drink it black is because I'm trying to get the job done quick. I don't need any
Mhm.
fluff. I don't need any special activities. I don't need caramel, frappuccino, fucking fruit. If you're a dude and you get anything like a frappuccino or caramel and whipped cream. That's not a coffee, bro. I always make the joke. I go, "Are you drinking your milkshake? Oh, you got a nice
Yeah,
milkshake."
dessert.
Yeah, yeah, you having your dessert. What the fuck? You're supposed to go to war with whipped cream and fucking caramel in your system. Okay, yeah, that's gonna make you really fucking savage. Uh, so yeah, no, absolutely, I'm in for that coffee shop.
Yeah, I think this coffee is such a booming business.
It's
It's like,
cheap. It's an
yeah.
Coffee is a legal drug. It's going to be profitable. It's a legal drug that people are addicted to.
I think the best thing about it too, and you probably do this more than me because I don't actually buy coffee beans that much. I'm sure you buy coffee beans with your, right? So like, do you actually like when you make an espresso, do you taste the difference in each coffee bean, or is it kind of,
Yes.
or is it not really kind of they all taste similar, but you could taste it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if you get different beans from different companies, you can definitely tell the difference. Now, obviously, I drink a fucking double shot every or quad shot every single morning, so I definitely notice it. Um, the reason it's noticeable, especially for me, is because I do drink my espressos black straight, so it's only coffee, so it's definitely noticeable. And now, if you're putting milk and creamer and all this other bullshit in there, yeah, you're not gonna be able to tell the difference, but you definitely can. Yeah.
I because it always interests me when I do go to coffee shops around here. They always have like the whatever the shop is, they have their coffee beans that they use there in a package. I was like, I would really like, I'm gonna start trying each coffee companies around here, their bags, and see which one I like the best.
Yeah, no, there's definitely differences. The ones that I like the most, probably, the ones that I like the most that are more retail that you can actually buy on a consistent basis is La Colombe, Colombe. I don't know if you heard
I
that
think that's what
company.
this is. This. They make cold brew too.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
That's this what I'm drinking.
yeah. That company, they have good beans. So I would order, hilarious, and I would use it too. I would order two 5 pound bags of beans, gigantic. Bang, throw those in my crib, and I would go through them. I would. It's fucking insanity. I drink a lot of espresso, but yeah, no, La Colombe's good. I like them.
Yeah, they have the reason why I always get them is they always have the buy one get one free at Publix. So it's like a $5 bottle of cold brew, but then you just get one for free. It's like I can't ever turn it down. And it's good. I like it.
Oh yeah, cool. All right, gentlemen. Well, outside of that, I mean, that was a fantastic episode. I'm ready to
Hmm.
rock. You got anything
Yeah,
else?
no, that's it for me.
Cool. Last thing I'll mention to the people before we pop off of here: like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Guys, YouTube, you guys know what it is. The like button is the most important part of the algorithm. Okay. If we're not getting likes on these videos, it's not going to get pushed out to the youth. It's not going to get pushed out to other people that we can have join the organization, which all in all, not only negatively impacts them, but negatively impacts us. We want to be able to
Yep.
grow this deal as large as we possibly can. So, for those of you inside the Taylor's Code, those of you a part of the network, I mean, we got people in the live chat right now. We got Ollie, we got Naeem, we got people talking. Like the stream, comment on the stream. Let's push this out to as many people as humanly possible, because otherwise they're going to be seeing gay dudes fucking doing makeup tutorials and girls shaking their ass and all this degeneracy that we see online that gets pushed in the algorithm, which is funny why they push that kind of stuff. How about we push out being a gentleman? How about we push out being respectful to women? How about we push out making money, developing yourself, brotherhood? How about we push out things that are actually going to improve society? So like the stream, do your part. Let's get this shit out to everybody that we possibly can. Let's continue to grow this deal because we're growing. Me and Bobby are looking at the analytics. We're looking at the metrics every single week.
Hmm.
We're growing. I mean,
Yeah.
it's as simple as that. So let's keep growing.
The final point I have is, well, I know I see we have some viewers on the X stream, so I'm going to tag Priamo underneath the X posts. So you guys are watching, make sure to follow Priamo. He's going to start going live on X as well. Just
Yes.
because the software we use, it makes it super easy for us to go live on multiple platforms. So I'm going to tag Priamo because I see we have a couple viewers on X as well. So
Fantastic. Yeah, I'll start streaming on X too. Beautiful. Cool. All right, gentlemen.
all
Outside of
right.
that,